Hello everyone, you've come back for chapter 3 then. Are you sitting comfortably? Have you got your dogs and your rabbits and your cats nearby? I'm lucky today because I've got Scrumpy just here. She's come and crawled onto my lap. She was upstairs having a nap and then she heard the story was about to begin. And I've also got little Bramble. He's just down here having a nap as well. I've got my blanket to make sure I'm snuggly. I've got my nice cosy jumper on because it's raining outside today. And I've got our book, The Owl Who Was Afraid of the Dark. We're on chapter 3. Now those of you who haven't made chapter 1 and 2, this story is about a baby owl and he's called Plop. Now unfortunately, Plop is afraid of the dark. That's a problem because owls are nocturnal, which means they're meant to sleep in the day and go about their day-to-day business at night. And at night, it's dark. Poor old Plop is afraid. Now we've been through the first 2 chapters. First of all, Plop found out that the dark is exciting and he watched a firework display. Then he found out that it can be kind because it can hide some of your less wonderful features. Today he's going to find out that the dark is fun. So if you are sitting comfortably, we shall begin. Are you two comfortable? For now. That evening, when it was getting dark, Mr. Barn Owl invited Plop to go hunting with him again. "Coming, son?" he said. "It's a lovely night." Not this time, thank you, Daddy," said Plop, who was sitting just outside the nest hole. "I'm very busy." "You don't look busy," Mr. Barn Owl said. "What are you doing?" "I am busy remembering," said Plop. "I see," said his father. "In that case, I shall have to go by myself." He swooped off into the darkness like a great silent jet plane. "What are you remembering, Plop?" asked his mother. "I'm remembering what the old lady said about the dark being kind. She says she's never lonely in the dark because she has so much to remember." "Well then," said Mrs. Barn Owl, "this would seem to be a good moment for me to slip out and do a little hunting." "You're not going to leave me by myself, are you?" said Plop. "I shan't be very long. I'll try and bring you back something nice, but I shall be lonely." "No, you won't. Just keep busy remembering, like the old lady said." Plop watched his mother float off into the darkness like a white feather. The darkness seemed to come towards him and wrap itself around him. "It's okay, Scrumpy, we don't mind the dark." "Dark is kind," Plop muttered to himself. "Dark is kind. Oh dear, what shall I remember?" He closed his eyes and tried to remember something to remember. Fireworks. He could remember fireworks. He had enjoyed those. The darkness had been spotted and striped and sploshed in colour. There were lights glowing above the bonfire. He still had stars in his eyes when he thought of it. I know, you're not too keen on fireworks, are you? Got to be very careful with your dogs around fireworks. But Plop enjoyed them. Shouts, happy shouts from under his tree brought Plop back from his remembering. He opened his eyes and peered down through the leaves. There were people running about in the field and flames were flickering from a pile of sticks. Another bonfire? Did that mean more fireworks? Plop watched excitedly. He could see now that people were running and that they were boys, quite big boys in shorts. They were collecting more wood for the fire. Suddenly they all disappeared into the woods with squeals and yells. All but one, that is. There was one boy left, sitting on a log near the fire. Plop forgot about being afraid of the dark. He had to know what was going on. So he shut his eyes, took a deep breath and fell off his branch. The ground was nearer than expected and he landed, unsurprisingly, with an enormous thud. "Phew," said the boy on the log. "A roly-poly pudding. Who threw that?" "Nobody threw me." "I just came," said the roly-poly pudding. "And actually, I'm a barn owl." "So you are," said the boy. "Have you fallen out of your nest?" Plop drew himself up as tall as he could. "I did not fall, I flew," he said. "I'm just not very good at landing yet. That's all. I came to see if you and the other boys were going to have fireworks, as a matter of fact." "Fireworks?" said the boy. "No. What made you think that?" "Well, the bonfire," said Plop. "Bonfire?" said the boy. "There's no bonfire. This is a campfire, and I'm guarding it until the others come back." "Where have they gone?" asked Plop. "They've gone to play games in the dark, lucky things." "Do you like playing games in the dark?" asked Plop. "Yes, it is super," said the boy. "Dark is fun. Even quite ordinary games like hide and seek are fun in the dark. My favourite game is where one of you stands outside a home with a torch in his hands and shines it on anything he sees or hears moving. The rest of you have to creep past him and get to home without being spotted. Oh, it's really good fun." There was a crash and a yell of "Scumbo, got you!" from the wood. "There, they're playing it now. Old Scumbo always gets caught first. He's got such big feet. You have to creep like a shadow and not get caught. Oh, it would be my turn to guard the fire." "What's the fire for?" asked Plop. "Well, we cook potatoes in it and make cocoa and sing around it." "What for?" "What for? Because it's fun, that's why, and because Boy Scouts have always had campfires." "Is that what you are, a Boy Scout?" "Of course, silly, I wouldn't be here, would I? I must put some more wood on the fire." I think Bramble's excited about the Boy Scouts. Plop watched the Boy Scout build up the fire. Could I be a Boy Scout, do you think?" he asked. "I doubt it," said Scout. "You're a bit on the small side. I suppose you could be a cub, but you would have to be 8 years old." "I'm 8 weeks old," said Plop. "Looks like you might have quite a long wait then, doesn't it?" said the Scout. "Anyway," he grinned, "you would look jolly silly in a uniform." Plop looked so disappointed that the Scout added, "Never mind, you can stay for tonight's sing-song if you like." "Can I?" cried Plop. "That would be so super." "You'd better go home and ask your mother first." So Plop flew up to the nest hole and found his mother waiting. "Where have you been?" She sounded a little bit cross, like all mothers do when they've been worried about where their children are. "I've been talking to a Boy Scout and he says dark is fun. And he says I can stay for the campfire. So can I, Mummy? Please?" "Oh, yes, all right then," she said. "Oh, yay, super," said Plop. So Plop was a Boy Scout for the night. He sat on his new friend's shoulder and was introduced to all the others. They made a great fuss of him and he had a wonderful time. He did not care for the cocoa, but he enjoyed a small potato. His friend blew on it for him, so it cooled it down, because he knew that owls swallow their food whole, and a hot potato in the tummy would have been incredibly uncomfortable for Plop. The Scouts huddled around the fire and sang as the sparks danced. What a wonderful sentence. They sang and sang while the sparks danced. They sang funny songs and sad songs, long songs and short songs. Plop did not sing. He just wanted to listen, but every now and then he got a bit excited and he fluttered around the boys' heads, crying, "Eek! Eek!" and everybody would laugh. They sang until the fire had sunk to a deep red glow and Plop had turned quite pink in its light. When it was time to go home for the boys and then it was time to go home for the boys and Plop. And when Plop had said goodbye to them all and bowed until he ate, he spread his wings and flew up to the landing branch. "Well," said his mother, "I told you the Boy Scout says dark is fun." And what do you think, Plop? I still do not like it at all, but I think campfires are super. Sorry, Bramble. Did you bring me something special, Mum? I did. Pop swallowed it whole in one gulp. That was nice, he said. What was it? A grasshopper. Oh, I like grasshopper, said Plop. What's next? And that is the end of chapter 3. Dark is fun. Now, I do hope that those Boy Scouts had a grown-up with them, because it's very important never ever to set a fire or be around a fire unless you've got a grown-up with you. All right there, Bramble? So I hope you enjoyed that and that you'll join me for chapter 4. Until then, take care, everybody, and I'll see you very soon.